In Dota 2, there are two types of cooldown reduction. The first is universal percentage-based reduction, which reduces the cooldowns of your spells and items by a certain percentage. The practical benefit of this is different for spells with short cooldowns than it is for spells with long cooldowns. You can get this through talents or purchasing Octarine Core. The second is tied to specific spells, such as Pudge's Scepter upgrade. We'll be discussing universal cooldown reduction and not the second type, as it is specific to certain spells and thus each spell that has it is unique. We'll be using Octarine Core as an example, as any hero can purchase it. It gives you a chunk of health and mana, as well as giving you spell lifesteal. We will analyse those benefits in another video, so be sure to hit the like, subscribe and bell button to get notified as soon as it's out. What this video will focus on is Octarine's cooldown reduction, which reduces the cooldowns of your spells and items by 25%. Let's use this on a hypothetical spell with a cooldown of 4 seconds. With the item, the spell can be cast every 3 seconds. In a span of 12 seconds, you can now cast a spell 4 times, where without the item, you could only cast it 3 times. In other words, you can cast your spells 33.3% more often with the Octarine Core than without. In practice, this only applies for spells with short cooldowns that you will spam as soon as they're off cooldown anyway, such as Zeus's Arc Lightning, Bristleback's Quill Spray, or Skywraith Mage's Arcane Bolt. If you take advantage of this to spam your spells 33.3% more frequently, you'll be doing 33.3% more damage at the cost of 33.3% more mana. In effect, this is similar to spell amplification, except that spell amplification does not increase your mana consumption. Cooldown reduction has a considerably different effect in practice for spells with long cooldowns, especially area of effect ultimates that can decide the outcome of teamfights. Take for instance Enigma's Black Hole, which can turn a teamfight around when used properly. Enigma has a talent that gives 15% cooldown reduction, so this is a good opportunity to demonstrate how cooldown reductions stack. By taking this talent, your spells will have 85% the cooldown they previously had. In this case, Black Hole's 160 second cooldown is reduced to 136 seconds. If you then purchase Octarine Core, its 25% reduction will reduce your cooldowns to 75% of what they were previously. In this case, Black Hole's cooldown is further reduced to 75% of 136 seconds, which comes out to 102 seconds. Notice that each instance of cooldown reduction is calculated separately and does not depend on the order in which you acquire each instance. For example, in the totally unrealistic scenario where you acquire Octarine Core before the talent, your Black Hole will still have a cooldown of 102 seconds. Theoretically, you could cast Black Hole more often with cooldown reduction if you used it every time it's off cooldown. But that is ill-advised, as even with cooldown reduction, it still has a very, very long cooldown. You will still want to wait for the perfect moment to cast your Black Hole, even with cooldown reduction. However, cooldown reduction still benefits Black Hole, as the downtime after each cast is significantly reduced. In other words, the period of safety your enemies have after they see you cast your Black Hole is significantly shorter. The less time they have to push the advantage, the better it is for you and your team. With both the cooldown reduction talent and Octarine Core, your Black Hole will come off cooldown 58 seconds sooner. That's 58 seconds less time the enemy is safe from your ultimate. If a teamfight breaks out, say 115 seconds after you last cast Black Hole, having your ultimate ready with cooldown reduction can make the difference between winning and losing the teamfight, and potentially the entire match. To summarise, cooldown reduction increases your damage output for spells with short cooldowns, and decreases the window of time your enemy is safe after you cast your high cooldown, big impact spells. That concludes our guide to cooldown reduction. Our next video will analyse Octarine Core in detail, exploring its other benefits and finding the heroes that can best take advantage of it. Please hit the like, subscribe and bell buttons to get notified as soon as they're out.